Content.
Hello, my name is Alun, and tonight I'm facilitating the fourth session of my series of Uncharted Stars. This is a mashup of several games. Go back to episode 1 to find out what they are. But the bottom line is we're playing in a limited kind of sci-fi universe, in the sense that there are only 7 systems connected by these ring gates. So it's kind of difficult to run away from your dirty linen if you've left it somewhere. And I'm hoping that we're going to see some more connections emerge between what's going on in the characters' lives and the kind of factions we've created. So I'm not saying more about that, go back to session 1, but I will say this series, as all my online series, has been organized as part of the Open Hearth gaming community online calendar. And if you don't know about Open Hearth, please type Open Hearth Gaming Community into Google and come find us. And there is on September the 5th, 6th to 8th, 6, 7, 8, I think, that weekend anyway, there is our shared hearth, where we invite people who've previously perhaps not had much or anything to do with the community to come and play with us. Just to experience what we think is quite a good online gaming culture. We play mostly indie games. I'm guessing that, given that we'll be running one-shots that weekend, my guess is it'll be mostly rules light and indie, but not necessarily. Yeah, I'll be running an alien game, for instance. So not the big one, but my own tiny alien game. So with that in mind, I won't bother to ask the players or characters to introduce themselves at the point. We'll come across them in play, and let's pick up where we left off. I should say we're playing with safety tools. Sorry, I need to stop my phone dinging. There we go. Should have done it right from the start. Okay, so where we left it previously on the cluster. The ship, the Chimera, the player character ship, emerged from the ring gate in the Leshan 6G system, with an additional shuttle strapped to it. That shuttle has been released and has carried away a pirate captain and her surviving crew. And along with some bodyguards come security that surrendered to the players, previously associated with a dark black ops virus development station in another system. But now the question is, what is the Chimera going to do? So Bryz, let's start with you. When we see the three of you, our fourth player isn't joining us tonight. He's got a previous commitment, so Jort is going to be a little bit quiet. But Bryz, let's start with Bryz. What is Bryz thinking? Because last time there are clearly some growing tensions between his family, his powerful, financially important family, and a rival faction in his home system. But you're kind of a bit distant from that, or are you? I mean, how are you feeling about what you've learned, Bryz?
I am, as I said last time, I am very glad that they are going to be at each other's throats, and that can only be to the good if they are wasting themselves against one another. It makes other people vulnerable. But the noise of that is something that is going to make me in a difficult position, especially with my contacts with the One Sky Syndicate.
Yeah.
So I'm a little nervous about that.
Yeah, who are the rebel group opposing all those hypercapitalists in your home system.
I am also incredibly relieved to have those people off the ship, just to get a little more room. I'm sure that for Pleasant, suddenly the ship seems hollow and empty. But for me, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, because these ships are not sleek. They are not spacious. They are cramped, resembling submarines more than starships. Um, Let me go to Pleasant next then. So Pleasant, what are you thinking at this point? Just to, go forward. What's your thinking?
I mean, I'm concerned both with the conversation with Paxt about his past and mistakes that you don't foresee coming, biting you and a whole lot of other people in the ass, and the fact that he went in and killed a one-armed pirate and might have a virus. Now, that is also perhaps a
Yeah,
more pressing concern.
yeah. Because we know Bryz is already infected with a virus that is related to the one that I think we christened the rage zombie virus. I can't remember. So yeah, I wonder if Paxt is actually incubating a virus. Paxt, what about you? What are you thinking at this point?
At this moment, standing in the med bay, I'm thinking about whether or not I might be infected by a rage zombie virus. That's on my that's the pressing matter on my mind.
Okay. So given these quite tense, because last time we ended with quite a lot of moral kind of ambiguity and concerns, a bit of tension between the crew. Um, what's the plan now then? Let me go the other way around. Pax, what are you because you've come through the ring gate.
Mhm.
I'm about to take 1 unit of wealth away from you to pay for refuel and resupply, unless you tell me not to.
Mhm.
Um, and you also have some engineering issues, as I remember. Oh no, hull issues. That's right. Your shields took a bit of a battering because of the strain on the superstructure last time. So what's the plan? What's your suggestion about what the crew should do next, Paxt?
I mean, I would suggest to probably look out for the what is the syndicate called?
The local faction is the IBD
These
Research Cooperative.
yeah, and to I don't know. I mean, not from Pax's perspective. Pax wouldn't would like to contact them because he's allied with them.
Mhm.
Um, but I could imagine that Pleasant. I don't know. Would be. I'm not speaking for Pleasant, obviously. um, yeah. So for me, it is contacting the co-op.
Yeah, okay. Pleasant, I noticed that you're owed a favor by IBD Research. I don't know what that's for, but it does seem like you have some previous connection with them. But what's your thinking at this point, Pleasant, about what the crew should be thinking about next?
Did we have a job that we left unfinished?
I don't think you did.
Okay.
You successfully neutralized the pirate threat presented by Cast, and the black virus station was Jihun virus station was a bonus.
Oh yeah, all this, we're not even getting paid for dealing with this. Um, it would be nice if we could find a way to get paid for dealing with all this, because the wealth does keep ticking downward, and we got to keep the Chimera flying. It's not my number one priority, but it is in the back of my head. I think Pleasant also interested in contacting IBD, because they're realizing that this is a whole big thing, and having other scientific eyes on it might not be a bad idea, and might help clear Paxt so we don't have to keep him shoved away in a corner of the tiny little ship, because he doesn't like being in small spaces. It's
Yeah. Is he self-isolating in the top bunk?
I mean, we finished last time a little bit on a cliffhanger where he was in the med bay and the the security measures that Pleasant took kind of isolated him in that space.
Yeah. So Bryz, finally you. What are you thinking the next stop for the Chimera is?
Wherever we go, we need to go. We need to have some shore leave. Get ourselves off of here, and we need to look for another another job that I wanted to do some more. I picked the last thing, the bounty hunting. I was the one who pushed for that. So maybe we'll see what Pleasant thinks this time, since Paxt and I both kind of had the call about what job to do, but we've got to look around to figure that out first.
Well, you'll remember that invariably tethered to every ring gate is an HSA sponsored refueling station. So there's there, but the nearest, because this system has no planets, it's just all belt. So it's all stations and asteroid, hollowed asteroids and stuff. So the nearest settlement of any size is an asteroid called Caelestis, with a couple of thousand people listed. But it's nearest to the ring gate, and there's a symbiotic relationship between the two, in as much as this system exports an awful lot of raw materials. Most of its economy is around mining, and mining those asteroids and shipping stuff out. And indeed, as you've been kind of docked at the refueling station, I'll take that wealth in a moment. You have noticed, a significant number of large bulk transports leaving the system, carrying ore and, partially or unrefined products. So Caelestis is the nearest station of any scale.
What do you think, folks? Pleasant, do we need to go to a more scientific station, or can we go and check in at these places and see what's going on?
Say if we're not obligated to, then go to the place where we have more resources available to us.
Okay. Are you good with that, Paxt? I say on the intercom.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think we know that if you want to find IBD, then Cetus is the asteroid where their base of operations is. So you've got Caelestis, which is nearer. You've got I'm going to change that name now. Cetus. That's much easier. There we are. Cetus for the IBD. So where do we see Pax laying in a course?
I would probably, I think the Nero one, not the IBD one, because Pax is also interested in trade opportunities or mission opportunities.
Fine. So let's have I can't remember who did it last, but someone needs to roll for drive. When you set course for a named destination in system, roll plus drive. Drive is currently +1. Bryz, it's been a while, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been about for me to fuck up.
Yeah,
so.
since anyone let you into the piloting chair, so let's have you roll 2d6 +1.
That is a 5.
Okay, you don't arrive at Caelestis, but there's a dangerous in-system encounter to be resolved before you can use drive again. So let's see what that is. 76 or 67? 76 or 67? I think micrometeorite swarm, collision alert. So you're in transit and, collision alert. Who does what?
I think I reached to turn on the shields before remembering that that's what's damaged.
Well, it's not negligible, but so the two approaches here. Try to avoid to shift the ship to avoid the micrometeorite swarm, or weather it.
Can we also use our point defense systems?
You could. Yeah, let's do that. So Bryz, I'm seeing you heading down to the weapons system deck. Paxt, is it you who's in the hot seat, given your You are a hot pilot after all, for what it's worth.
But I mean, unless they can somehow put the operations into the med bay,
No,
I
I don't
would
think
say.
they can. No, so I think probably it's Pleasant in the hot seat and Bryz on the point defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
So what I'm imagining here is Bryz trying to thin the herd so that Pleasant has a better chance of spreading the damage, if nothing else.
Yeah. And in fact, can I just frictional positioning have myself set up to do an assist using those systems, and essentially I'm clearing some so that if the roll is not as good as we wish, I will attempt to help.
That's fine. So let's go then to this seems to me to be using controls on the ship, doesn't it? So we have a move called controls. When you pull a stunt to get the ship to fly better than it has any right to. Pleasant. Roll plus control. Controls, the ship controls are 1. So roll plus 1.
Yeah, we could use an assist on that. It's a
That's a
6 as it
6.
stands.
Okay, so you fail your stunt and you pay a price, unless, Bryz.
I'll roll with the weapons to
Okay.
assist.
Then let's have your roll plus hardware.
That is a 12.
Oh, well. That then improves the outcome with Aid and Ally from 6 minus to 7 to 9. And neither of you face any cost on the basis of that. But on a 7 to 9, let's see what 7 to 9 might give us. I think 7 to 9 gives us a price to pay, but it's a price you can choose where to put it. Is this damage to people or damage to the ship, Pleasant? Is this about protecting the crew principally or the ship systems?
It's damage to the ship, I think. That makes
Okay.
the most sense.
Okay, so let me roll a d6, or in fact a 1d4, and see where I shall put some harm then. 4. So on a 4, I think this is going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. I roll d4 again, and that's a 2. Oh gosh, it's the med bay. Oh no, it's the med bay. So micrometeorite hits down there, kind of amidships. Paxt, I think there is danger to be faced here, my friend. How do we see you preparing for contact with this micrometeorite storm, or what do you do when you hit it?
I don't know. For me, it looks like an opportunity to get out of the med bay, to be honest. If it's if it's damaged.
So, but yeah, I suppose because I'm going to make you roll to face danger. I just need to get some. So, are you,
I'm crouching next to the door, ready to spring.
Okay, so this sounds like I think this is speed, agility, mobility. Getting hunkered down in the best place. Roll plus precision, please, Paxt.
That's my skill. Let's see.
And you're all rolling so well so far.
That is an 8, I think.
Okay, 7 plus. You're not going to be hit by a micrometeor. This is a good thing. But there's a cost, and you pay a price. So let me see if pay a price offers me anything interesting. 78 or 87. 78, you are harmed. That's an 87. You are stressed. I think this is emotionally stressful rather than physically stressful. So mark 1 stress. It's not something that any protection is going to help you with, because it's emotional, kind of an emotional hit.
Yeah, imagine that there are these small meteorites flying through the med bay, and you can't really prepare for it. You can't evade them, so that's the stress.
And then rushing to put those patches up when you, because you missed most of the swarm, but not all of it. with a sigh of relief then. I think some patching goes on. There's some harm to the med bay, so let me just note that. Yeah, the med bay goes from +1 to 0, and quarters. Oh, I don't know why I haven't put my quarters. I'll put minor under there. Minor harm. Okay. So yeah, you're taking quite a battering this last couple of sessions. With a sigh of relief, who's on watch to determine the next role to drive then?
I'm told I'm not allowed to let Bryz drive, so.
Okay, Pleasant. Then roll 2d6 +1 for drive.
We'll see if this is any better. I mean, it's the same dang dice. It's a 7 at least.
Well, that's okay, isn't it? On a 7+, choose one. You arrive at Caelestis, or there's an in-system encounter. Pleasant.
We got to get there now. We've already had an encounter. Let's get there.
Okay, yeah, that was who needs an encounter now? We've had that. So you arrive at Caelestis. The ship is rather the worse for wear over recent experiences. But Caelestis is a hollowed out asteroid set to spin. So there is gravity to speak of. And I guess we cut to you in the docks area of the station. And who is going to put the word out for work? As Bryz said, he did the donkey work last time.
I want to have a conversation
Okay.
before we go. Before I actually like make sure we can't unlock the ship first. And I say, is it safe for Pax to leave the ship?
And I believe we established at the end of the last session that the status is unknown, right? So I don't have to.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do to make it safe for Pax to leave the ship? Like a suppressant or something?
Given that we don't know what we're dealing with, having him in his own environment is the most secure thing. If he were in an EVA suit walking around that was fully sealed, that should be fine. But then he's in an EVA suit walking around the station, which is its own set of challenges.
I mean, this is claustrophobic as fuck already. I'm not reducing the amount of space that I have.
So here's the question then I'll put to you, Paxt. Do you wish to go out with this virus into this settlement and potentially expose people, or would you like to remain on the ship?
I'm not crazy. I'm not risking the life of potentially the whole asteroid. I mean,
so I'll take that as you're staying on the ship.
I'm staying on the ship.
Okay.
I can make some tests if Pleasant shares his findings on the virus. I can test myself.
And you've got some contacts, so you can talk to people from here, right?
I can.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure where we stood. Like,
I mean, it is possible you could seek medical help here.
Yeah.
You know? So shall we have a little bit of shore leave for Bryz and Pleasant in the first instance, see where that might take us, and then come back to Paxt. Does that seem fair? So,
sure.
Pleasant, let's start with you then. Shore leave, the modifier for your I am going to take that one away now. So you have successfully refueled and resupplied, and you have dropped back to the top end of scraping by. Congratulations. So you got +1 for downtime, shore leave. So let's have Pleasant roll 2d6 +1.
That's the wealth modifier?
Yeah.
Okay. My special move is I can apply a +1. So as long as the GM agrees there's somewhere that's busy and crowded where I don't have to be alone.
It's a sealed asteroid with 2,000 people aboard. Yeah, I mean, this feels a
pretty
lot
good
more
for
like home. So yeah, by all means, get that benefit.
Let's see what we get. 9.
9, that's okay, isn't it? So 7 plus, recover. Do you or any single piece of your equipment have any stress at this point?
Don't believe so.
Okay, so choose one opportunity: a friendly face, word on the street, help wanted, R&R, study.
We're picking one of those.
You're picking one of those. So far, we have a project, isolate and replicate the empathy virus, with 2 ticks in it.
And that is always
Tempting, isn't it?
it's always pretty compelling. And I mean, Bryz is gonna roll too. He'll probably roll really well. So I think what that looks like is adjacent kind of to a friendly face. IBD owes me a favor, and there's some contact I have there. And it's meeting up with him and like giddy teenagers discussing what actual teenagers like. But we're oh, look at this data, look at this, there's no reason for a blip on the graph at that point. That's incredible. What do you think it means? Well, I know what it means.
I mean, I'm inclined to say, let's roll for a friendly face and then maybe exploit the friendly face to get some more project progress. Does that?
Okay.
Yeah, because then we'd have a member of IBD on the table. So say how you discover you have enough in common with them. Well, they owe you a favor. And let's come up with a name for this person. Male or female in terms of appearance?
I think male.
Okay, that's a 38 is Gavin. We got a Gavin in the house. And 83 is Beckett. So Gavin Beckett is a friendly face. Bracket IBD dash pleasant. Yeah. Okay. So so you meet up with because there is IBD has a presence across the system. They are mostly kind of sales and sponsorship bases. They're not an enormous organization. So in Caelestis, one of the major kind of hubs for in and out of system travel, I think this is more likely to be admin, personnel, support services rather than necessarily a science base. But Gavin is, Gavin, he's into the science. So what kind of conversation do we see you having with Gavin?
I think he used to be pure science, and he had a force transfer to
Promoted out.
admin. Yeah, for his own safety, he was promoted out. So it's definitely an old time state kind of thing, and I think we're in his little cubicle drinking caffeinated beverages all night, and getting more and more disheveled and a little bit loopy as we're going over the data that I found. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to so what do you want out of this? Do you want to make progress in the project? And if so, how are you going to broach that with Gavin?
I mean, I think the idea of doing a thing that has not been done is very alluring to him, which is probably why he's not allowed to play with these things anymore. So like, look, we can make this happen. I'm just stuck on this. The protein binder is, I don't know. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you used to know how to figure out. But which sequencing is correct?
Okay, so I'm seeing you leaning into your skills at manipulating people here.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I think what you're wanting him to do is, or is it? I mean, is it is it, or is it convince, compel?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's something that he would be interested in doing. So
Yeah.
I don't know which way that pushes it.
Okay, I'm going to go with convince and compel because I think he already is favorable to you. And I don't think you want him to do something immediately. You want him to kind of help you with some stuff. So convince, compel, and it sounds like charm, pacify, encourage. So role plus influence. It's just the outcomes for this are slightly more in tune with the conversation.
And
Your
because he
influences.
is
Oh,
a
and
friendly
so
face.
you get to roll with
Yeah,
advantage. Well spotted.
I knew there was a reason that was a good thing. All right. We won't do that. Was terrible rolls. Absolutely horrible. There was a
One,
3.
1 and 3. Holy moly. So is there any light in this tunnel?
I mean, that seems like I can't, if they find out I'm doing this, I've already been transferred once. This is exactly the sort of thing that you convinced me to do before, and that's the reason why this happened. It's great to see you, but you're on your own with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
If there's anything else I can help you with.
Well, no. I think the price you pay here is that Gavin goes very cold indeed. Um, to the point that he is no longer a friendly face. It is, I can't help you with this, Pleasant. I know that we've had some communication around some of your papers and some of the stuff that we were doing here, but this is no, nowhere near this will I go. And my strong advice to you is you don't go there either.
So
Have
I
a good
sort of
day.
feel like you talked me into doing something differently mechanical, that instead of me just taking a tick has gotten me absolutely nothing for the previous roll.
Well, I think that the sense you get from him is that he does know about this virus. That
Okay.
that IBD is somehow involved in this, and he is very nervous about you knowing about it and the difficulties you could get him into. Yeah.
That
So
works.
I'm hoping that that feels like an interesting piece of information, if not a project tick. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
that's useful then.
Bryz, what are we seeing you doing for your shore leave?
I am unmuting myself. I am heading out, excited, uh dropping my name to get that +1.
Okay.
And sightseeing around here. So I'm gonna roll with +2 with advantage.
Go for it. Go for it.
See here. Up another D6. There's no way I could possibly fail this roll.
Yeah, that's what Pleasant
Oh,
was.
look at that. 14.
So we had a pair of 1s and a 2, and a pair of 6s and a 2 on successive rolls. Isn't the gods of randomness, aren't they just wonderful? So that goes as well as it could go, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
so what do we, you're out and about, you're, dropping a name, 7+, if you've got any stress to yourself, you can clear that, or you can clear stress on a piece of equipment.
I don't have stress on anything.
I need to start being nastier to you guys.
That's not what my message was, not that, but fair enough.
And choose one opportunity.
Let's see here. I think that what I want to do is I want to essentially through my friends and contacts, and so on, get basically all of the public records, the notes and things, about that original empathy virus attack in my system, all the things, and I know what happened, so I know kind of where to look, and essentially I want to gather all that stuff since I know who to ask, and I want to essentially Dropbox that to the person whose character's name is not changed in the overhead thing.
Pleasant.
Pleasant. And uh, give them a progress on their project clock.
It's really nice. That was a nice thing to do. So fine, gather information. I mean, I am keen for you to get that 7+ on gather information. You just got something helpful or specific, or the path you must follow to action. Do you want to get
Well, I'm
something
doing this
else out there?
as study
Okay,
under shore leave, which is to continue with a long-term project. So I'm
okay.
just doing that. Like I'm just
Collating.
getting stuff that I don't understand and getting a big mass of it and handing that over to Pleasant.
Fine, which
Because
gives
I'm worried
Pleasant
about Paxt, and I'd like to get this settled
one way
as
or the
soon
other.
as we could.
Absolutely. So Paxt, given that's been going on, what are you doing?
I think that I'm trying to contact someone I know on the station if possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do have the move. I don't know if it's relevant. You know people who know people, which is
Yeah.
my advancement. I'm not sure if it is about NPCs that are already established or if it allows me to establish NPCs.
Well, I think if you want to use the friendly face approach to this, that would allow you to define someone that becomes a contact that we can use in a move to do something with them.
Yeah, I mean, it would be funny to use Gavin again, but given that Gavin is obviously not interested,
Well, your relationship to Gavin might be different, of course,
I hope so. Let's use Gavin then.
because I'm struck by the fact that while IBD owes Pleasant a favor, and there might be some mileage to call that favor in Pleasant to go back to Gavin if you are actually loyal to IBD.
That's true.
So you have, if not credentials, you have a real relationship with the organization. Yeah. So do you want to what's the approach you're taking to Gavin then?
So first of all, I mean, this is something like a system net or a way to contact people.
Yeah.
Remotely.
That you can tune into the station's public communication system, no problem.
I call him up, and my approach is I would like him to gather his shit and come over and help me with my problem.
Oh, right. So he is a friendly face. Let you roll with advantage to convince, compel, or do you want to use the move you have? Oh no, sorry, you don't. It's Bryz who has the contacts move. I beg your pardon.
No, he has a contacts move.
Yeah,
I have the other one.
Oh yes. So yes, you know people, so you have advantage when you. Yes, fine. So let's have you roll 3d6. Take the top two to convince Gavin to come talk to you.
And that is an 8 plus, what is it? Plus influence, I guess. That is a 10, I think.
That looks 10. Look, to me, that looks like a 6, a 4. So that's 10 plus. So you're already high and dry.
Oh, I'm stupid. Yeah, you're right.
So this is an encourage. This is cashing in stuff. 7 plus, they'll do what you want or agree to your conditions. No downside on the 10 plus. So Gavin turns up at the ship. Do you mention the empathy virus? What's the nature of the conversation we see between you and Gavin?
I think the what probably convinced him to come is that I mentioned the work that Pleasant is doing and that I'm not happy about it.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that you knew them.
Well,
They
we are mates on the ship.
what? They came to me and I sent them away. You do not want to be messing with this, Paxt,
I
okay?
know. I totally agree. I think we should shut this down.
Well, that's not what I said. But you know, I don't want anyone. The reason I sent Pleasant away was that I don't want them to get tied up in this, because there are forces in motion, my friend, forces in motion. Okay, I'm away from the center now, so I don't know exactly where things are at, but things are becoming tense around that virus.
Kevin, you couldn't be more obtuse, even if you wanted to.
What can I say to you? Look, I tell you what I told Pleasant, okay? You should stay away from this, okay? And the reason you should stay away from this is that a number of parties, don't ask me who they are, but a number of different parties are showing interest in a virus that I say IBD produced. Okay. And a number of parties are getting quite aggressive about obtaining more of it or the information we use to create it. Okay. This is dangerous country. Okay. And I'm only telling you this. The reason I didn't tell Pleasant this is because, you have an association with the company as well as me. Pleasant's a friend.
Yes.
Okay.
Pleasant is a friend of mine as well.
Well, then all the more reason for you to run a mile from this. Or you risk getting caught between a rock and a hard place, friend.
Okay. Let's talk about the repercussions on another day, maybe. Can you check whether or not I am infected with a variant?
What do you mean variant?
Well, we came across a research station, a rogue research station with, to use your words, factions that you don't want to know about.
Okay.
And they were researching, trying to change the virus, and it went wrong. I know.
Change the virus?
As if, yes.
And bead of sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we were. You can't just change this virus.
I didn't try.
Oh shit! Are you infected with a variant of this virus?
Well, maybe, Kevin. Keep calm. It may be. We came across somebody who was a couple of specimen who are definitely infected. I tried to take care of them, and I might have made a mistake. Can you check this?
Not here.
This is a perfectly well-equipped med bay.
Well, it was better equipped before micrometer swarm. I think it's probably the truth.
These are cosmetical.
I think that for him to get you into an IBD facility and access the equipment that they have there and the files they have there, you have to go to them, and that is going to cost you a favor because he's going to need to make some people go blind while you're in the facility.
That sounds about right.
Okay. Look, And you know, you've noticed that he's drifted away from you in these cramped quarters. You know, he's
Well,
now
I was the way I envisioned it, I didn't let him into the med
Oh,
bay. It
okay.
was through the,
Okay.
because I'm seriously
You don't want to spread
worried.
this.
I don't want to
Okay.
spread this, not even to a friend.
Okay. Okay. He will be in touch tomorrow with arrangements to get you where you need to be. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think probably then our next scene is the three of you back on the ship sharing what you, so Bryz is sharing with Pleasant, you know, was that stuff I sent you any good? But Paxt has news, I think, which we all heard, so we don't need to replay that, but I do want to understand what the crew's view now is.
So the things that we did learn was IBD is freaking out about it. They don't want to touch
Well,
with a 10-foot
IBD
pole.
constructed the virus in the first place.
Yeah.
It's the bombshell, I think.
And that more people want it from them.
They probably want the original strain or whatever, or their findings.
So there's something going on here.
Yeah. So my suggestion is that tomorrow I hang about and just look for another job while you two do other things that involve this, and I don't.
Get us something like legally. We don't want to kick up fuzz in the system, at least.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for a legal job to draw attention to us that way while you two handle things. I am both disappointed and relieved that Jort is not with us at this point.
Yeah, I think probably the way that Jort is playing this is he has secured himself in engineering, and
He's not on a hollow suite for that beach date with the pirate queen.
Well, maybe we'll ask Paul when next time how he spent his time on Cestus.
I do have a question though. I do remember that Bryz spent some time on the station to acquire shit that we could potentially sell. And all we got is a lazy pen set that Jort will use to stab somebody in the eye. That doesn't seem fair.
No, he gave us a cred for that
was it?
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, he did give us credit for that. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I kept the pen set. But the other stuff
Obviously.
we sold off and got some money for.
All right, cool then.
Yeah, that's how for just microseconds your balance showed you to be breaking even.
Oh,
And then, you know,
One
expenses
glorious moment
kicked
in
in.
time.
yes.
So right, Bryz looking for work, Pleasant and Paxt going with Gavin. And I think the way this happens is that what amounts to an ambulance appears at the ship. And you know, securely mates to the airlock, and Paxt is transferred into this ambulance. Inside, there are two folks in, you know, biological hazard gear, and Gavin is outside with Pleasant saying, "Look, I'm sorry if I was rude yesterday, but this is getting out of hand here, right? But I owe Paxt, we owe Paxt. You know, what can I say, Pleasant? I'm sorry."
You owe me too. That's on the side of the balance sheet as well. And yet you're willing to jump into possible contamination?
No, look, I've cleared it.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're not doing it. Your lackeys are doing it because you're too scared to do it yourself. I understand that part.
Look, Pleasant, you know, some people like to be freewheeling out there, you know, cutting a swathe across the cluster. Some of us want a pension. Okay?
You used to be the first type, and I poke him in the chest with 2 fingers.
Jesus, Pleasant, don't make this worse than it is.
Just make sure that my friend isn't contagious with anything.
Well, okay, so look, you know, and he opens the door at the front of the ambulance, you know, sealed area behind, and he calls you in. It's a little kind of, you know, one that will make its way down one of the corridors on its way to the IBD facility here. He says, "Come on, get in, get in."
I'd almost rather ride in the back.
I mean, do you want to push him that way?
I mean, I'm just annoying him.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not actually. Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I suppose what I'm curious about is whether you want to. Are you leaning into a move that will mechanically make him annoyed?
No.
Okay. Then you make your way through the round the spin of this asteroid to the IBD facility. Meanwhile, Bryz, you're looking for work, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
now, because you are scraping by again, you've got a local job, cargo or passenger run, bounty hunting, interfere with a faction.
And what tab is this
Sorry, this
information
is
on?
on the ship and wealth.
Shipping off. Okay.
And you get to tell me what kind of, I mean, you technically, you've also got access to the one under desperate, you know, honest hard
Legal.
labor.
We want a legal job.
You want a legal job.
Next. Let's see if there is some salvage in system. Oh wait, hang on. No. Let's see if there's a we've got Jort with us. I want to see if there's an in-system cargo or passenger run.
Okay. And a legal one at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So roll with so hospitality, basic move. We are rolling roll plus hospitality. Have you got anything else going for you in that? Or are you, is this not to use your contacts move?
Yeah, I'd like to start with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So support and backup sounds like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, to you know, maybe get somebody who knows somebody to lean
Help
in
me
the right
out.
direction.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have you roll then plus influence.
That's an 8.
An 8. Okay. 7 plus, you get what you wanted. So you get some help. The GM says which complication or consequence you'll have to accept if you want success.
I would like to request some stress.
Yeah,
Since
I
I
know
haven't
you
had
would.
to mark any.
I know, and you'd love to mark some stress, but I think you're going to mark some stress. But probably the thing that's going to make you mark some stress is that the contact who comes to you is someone from the syndicate to whom you are loyal, the One Sky Syndicate. The contact here is you only know them as Cypher.
Appropriate.
Because Cypher heard on the grapevine, Bryz, that you were here. The syndicate's a little bit concerned about the profile that you seem to be developing at the moment. You know, it sounds almost like you're on some kind of show publicity tour. Is that what this is about?
That is an insulting statement. I am exiled from my family. I am working hard with a crew of like-minded folks to try and get by and where possible, kick the teeth in of wealthy motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, you see, we think it's time you put your money where your mouth is, Bryz.
Uh-huh.
Because we think that you've talked a big game so far, but in terms of what you've done for us and done for the people who your family and families like yours have a boot heel on the neck of, I think that we need you to begin to pull your weight.
What if I were to tell you about an IBD viral program used for mind control?
And that's where we go to our first commercial break.
Okay.
Shall we be back in our seats at what? Is 5 past quick enough?
Sure,
Long enough?
that's fine.
Fine, 5 past the hour. So, Pleasant and Paxt are being ferried to the IBD facility on Calestis. But Pleasant, you reminded me, or Keith reminded me in our break, that you have a move that allows you to keep an eye on someone. And Jihun. So you want me to tell you something interesting about the Jihun?
Yeah. What are they up to?
Yeah, well, the rumor is that Iokasaria Jihun is in system. Iokasaria, or Cassie Jihun, there's a picture in Faces and Places now, is Jihun's vice president for projects, and the files you found or you were able to discover placed her as a higher up in the virus project.
She looks like an anime villain. I mean, it's believable.
Exactly, because she's from the same planet as Bryz, and Bryz looks like an anime hero. So you know, it's kind of inevitable.
Got to get them in a room together and see what happens.
Exactly. So yeah, the rumor is she's in system.
And I would pass that on to Bryz unedited.
Okay. So Paxt, I'm seeing you in a a white isolation area with 2 or 3 people in biohazard suits. Pleasant, I'm seeing you and Gavin on the other side of a reinforced glass panel looking down on this, maybe the way that people might look down on an autopsy. And Paxt, I think what I'm going to let you do is to have you roll, because there's a sense in which you are the cleverest man in the room at this point.
I have this sense all the time, to be honest.
And given all the equipment, I think that I'm going to let you roll to gather information with advantage.
And gather information uses which attribute?
Well, it's roll plus mind.
Just mind. Why have a mind at?
And if this goes badly, maybe Pleasant can offer an aid and ally interpretation.
With advantage, you said?
With advantage, because you're seeing all the data that's being
Boxcars.
2 6s. Okay, so on a 10 plus, you have advantage. We make use of what you've learned. I think we can confirm you are not carrying the virus.
Almost disappointing, because now I could have learned something important about the virus. But
well, that doesn't mean you can't learn something important about the virus.
Cool.
Yeah.
I would like to know if they're obviously using some kind of something that would be able to attach to the virus. So I could somehow reading looking at the readouts, I can see I can get some information about the original virus, the empathy virus.
Yeah,
I mean,
because what you see is some and you're seeing this as well, Pleasant, just by the by. On the screens, both down in that room and up here in the observation area, you are seeing, you know, some details of the original virus that IBD produced, and you know what that looks like as a profile in a body, and you know yours, and these two sets of data are whisking past one another.
can I record these things with my AI?
I don't see why not. I mean, I think probably that hazmat drone is up in the observation
Mm-hmm.
area with Pleasant, but yeah, I don't see any reason not to do that.
Cool.
Because what I'm wondering is whether, if Pleasant has access to that information, whether Pleasant might want to use Examine to draw some conclusions from it. I don't know. What are you
I
thinking,
mean, it's a
Pleasant?
move I've got. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, because the data's there in front of you. So let's have you take the advantage that Paxt has generated. So roll with advantage. I think this is analyze a subject or anomaly. Roll plus mind.
Mind. All right. The foolish thing to say before this is that is the best possible thing that I could roll. So let's see what that does to this. It's not fantastic. It is, however, a 7.
Wow. Wow. 7 plus. Choose what you're looking for, and the GM will elaborate.
I said that I was going to figure out a way to stop it, and I'm going to keep that promise and look for a flaw or weakness.
Fine. I think there is a flaw or weakness to this. I think that I let you tick another project box for this. But the complication is that the way you stop it is modified by the individual. So Paxt is infected with samples of the rage virus, but his genome responds differently to it. So how you stop this is not is it maybe it's something that Paxt has got in him that means this isn't working, or maybe there are some people who are susceptible, and that the victims that we saw on the Jihon station were just unfortunately unlucky enough to be susceptible.
So the idea is it depends on the person. There isn't a one size fits all kill switch.
I think that I think you have isolated. You could replicate the empathy virus, but I think in terms of stopping it, I think that's going to require some more work. Yeah, does that seem fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Meanwhile, Bryz, the syndicate need you to run some interference. You need to come through.
I say, well, you could do that. Make me do a job, or you can help me get a job to keep my profile low in system, and I hand you a golden egg.
So when you so there's this virus
I would
program
like to. I think this is me trying to convince this guy of my position that, hey, look, we can do this in a way that is win-wins. Double wins for you, win for me.
Let's have you roll. This sounds like charm, pacify, encourage, barter, roll plus influence.
So that is a 9.
Okay, so on a 7 plus, they'll do what you want or agree to your conditions. Sometimes their agreement comes with a counteroffer demand or a complication. The complication is that they understand that Eocasaria Jihoon is in system.
Yeah.
They need you to kidnap her?
Oh, no. I say no. I say, I am not putting my allies under that kind of gun. I made you an offer. You help me out with finding a job, keep my low profile, and I would give you something incredibly useful against the IBD. But if you're not willing to do that, then I guess that goes elsewhere.
So let me just understand this, Bryz. You're telling me that you're not really committed to the cause, that you would take this somewhere else? I mean, how loyal are you, Bryzantimus Show?
I made you an offer and you're not even listening to it. You were clearly here from word go to put this on my shoulders. And that's not a negotiation, my friend. And look, I will once again say to you, I'm going to give you some shit that will make you able to walk back to whoever is giving you your orders and look like a fucking hero. And my name doesn't even have to be associated with it. All I'm asking is a light in-system job. And if you can't do that, which I need to do to keep up with my associates and keep our ship running, then that's not going to work, my friend.
So the syndicate needs to make this worth your while?
That is not what I have said at all. You seem to be thinking that I'm asking for more money or something. That is not what I'm asking for. I'm telling you what I was looking for, that I was looking for.
Okay.
You know, something that me and my crew could do. And you came in, butted in on this.
Okay. I think that the way this will end up playing out is because we've got a mechanic for factions here. When a faction representative asks for your help, if a character owes the faction a debt, the character chooses one. Do what they ask and erase the debt. You're not choosing to do that. Refuse the request and add a debt to that faction. The faction may spend a debt to make things difficult for the character. Factions don't like being turned down.
So what have I gotten it with my 7+ on compel?
I think he was putting a condition on the table. The condition, you backed off. He tried to back up that condition by saying, and you owe us some stuff. Do you want to get in deeper or we'll just cancel? So he was prepared to just take that debt away.
And I will say, and I will tell you why I do not wish to go after her.
Go on.
And that is part of the information that I'm offering you.
Okay.
And then I go blah.
Okay.
And I leave out the names of all of my associates. They will be able to figure it out eventually, but I tell them what has gone on, what we found out about the virus, the Jehoon link to it, that the Jehoon were in that system, under questionable legality, that they were
Working
doing
with the technopriests.
Yeah, that this is very bad news. And
Okay.
I say, given how high level and complicated this is, me going and kidnapping is not going to help anybody, and in fact going to make this situation worse.
Well, we're not sure about that, Bryz, but I hear what you say.
Yeah.
We'll cry quits on it this time. Yeah, we'll need to go another way of this now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a tech person in our team who is looking at the ways to neutralize this, because this is a weapon against populations.
Okay. 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 Then he can put you in touch with someone who might need some cargo carried from A to B.
Great. That sounds great. And it feels like we both walked away with
Something.
no, we both walked away with nothing that we wanted. So I feel like compromise.
Okay, so let's have you roll for that was the complication that
Yeah.
I was throwing
Whew.
up on a 7 to 9. So I think you get a simple cargo run
Okay.
from here to a do you want it to be to the IBD operational basin system or not?
Yeah, I think because I have gotten the sense from Pleasant that they do need to maybe stay in system and to get more information for the virus.
Okay, okay. So you've got a cargo run, and that probably ends up coming out of the conversations Pleasant and Paxt have had with Gavin, that there is a cargo run, a supply run out to Cestus, and you're as good at that as anything. Though Gavin maybe does not know that his subordinate has given the job to a crew member on the same ship as Paxt and Pleasant. Yeah. So off we go then. Yeah.
I will sit down with them,
Mhm.
with Pleasant and Pax, and I say, I feel obligated to tell you the details of the conversation that I had, so you will know what decisions I made, what information I have given, and if someone shoots me in the head, why they have probably done that. And then I will walk them through the conversation that I had.
I wouldn't be surprised about you getting shot in the head. I mean, I've been expecting that for a while. You've pissed off some very important people.
Bryz, I do appreciate that you took it up for us, because we did agree on a legal, quiet operation.
We're already under the heat lamp for what we did in that system. If we went after her, A, I don't know if we could do it, but B, like that would be all of the heat. So I'm hoping this next job will get us maybe some more information for the dealing with this virus, right?
Mhm.
Gonna be good.
Good.
Are Paxed, what do we find out that, like, were they able to take care of you? Were they able to cure you?
Apparently, I'm immune.
Oh,
I do
that's
have.
good.
That's.
Wait, you're immune or you just didn't catch it?
I didn't catch it, I
Okay,
guess.
because immune
It
is a very different thing,
it didn't
and
take.
it didn't take. But that gives you
Well,
some information, Pleasant, doesn't it?
A lot of information from that little venture today. Yeah.
Pleasant, do you need a guinea pig?
Just a slow
Long
smile
pause.
forms.
Yeah, where is Jort?
I mean, a guinea pig who obviously has some kind of genetical trait that helps not getting the virus or not being infected, I guess.
Yeah, there's some lack of clarity around exactly what's happening with
What
that, but
we also have the other person who hasn't caught it, which is that technician.
I'm assuming that Asher Hendricks is going to go her own way unless you
Well,
stop
I
her.
don't think so yet. Like if she has,
Poor Asher.
if she hasn't, she is staying on the ship until we get the situation dealt with. I say we should also check and see if there's some commonality between what Pax has genetically and what she has.
And I think
totally
that
forgot
may
she
explain what
existed.
Jort has been doing, which is keeping an eye on Asher and stopping her leaving the ship. So yeah, I mean, we've got another trip coming in a moment. But is there anything you want to do before you leave Pleasant on the virus problem, or anything Pax wants to do before he leaves?
Just want to say that looking at the Jort's profile, it really looks as if he's on a holodeck.
Yes.
Yeah,
As
because I
if
have to say
we
the
had
captain cast does not look like that.
Yeah.
With someone.
I just want to meet up with Gavin real quick and have a drink and say, you know, I understand your position, but if you don't come through for me next time, you'll regret it.
Well, and do you tell him that you're heading for the IBD central office, so to
No.
speak? No,
If he's
okay.
not giving
just
me any
check.
information, I'm not giving him any.
Okay, okay.
Just
I
establishing the favor that is still owed.
I do want to just check whether you want to have spent some time getting repairs done while you've been
Oh yeah, that's probably a good
docked
idea.
here. Yeah, because currently the med bay is a mess. And the superstructure, the kind of physical shields are damaged. Now, each one of those would cost 1 wealth.
I mean, it has to be done, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're at the top of scraping by.
Yep.
And we need to spend how much to get it back in fine fettle?
You could spend 1 on the shields and or 1 on the med bay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we should do both, right? We'll still be scraping by for rolls. Do we know how much this little run is gonna earn us?
This cargo run should earn you 2 wealth. So
We'll
that
be
would pay for
breaking
the
even, but we
repairs.
won't be breaking even.
Breaking even on this.
Yeah.
in
I
the
say,
context
do
of
you want to
Scribble.
look at, do you guys, maybe one of you wants to hit the ground and see if you can find additional cargo for us to move along? That's your specialty, Paxt.
It is a special cargo, like rare exotic cargo.
Well, yeah, I defer to your expertise.
So what do you think, Paxt? I mean, is this still on the legal side of legal or the gray
It's on
side
the
of legal?
gray side on legal, like legal for me, some drugs or something.
Okay, so this is a covert, more cargo, but you're less worried about the legality of it. Okay,
I am.
so
unless, you know, obviously Paxt insisted on the job being legal and Bryz agreed. What do you guys think? Something on the side.
You do what you want to do.
We do have these crooks and nannies in the ship. People won't find it.
Oh, crooks and nannies, nooks and crannies.
Oh, nooks and crannies.
Okay, crooks and nannies had a whole different visual.
We don't know. No, forget it.
There's definitely
I mean,
some crooks.
that's the equivalent to a vicar and tarts party. So Paxt, let's have you. I mean, I've just checked that improvement. That improvement is really on threatening people with your contacts, isn't it? Because it's leverage rolls to compel. So I think this is a relatively straightforward getting work. Roll plus hospitality, which is 1.
Cool. Let's see, 2d6. That is 9.
9. On a 7 to 9, choose either the job you wanted or the legality you wanted. So we can stay grey legal.
Yeah.
But it won't necessarily be the cargo.
Or it is smuggling, but it's or it's transporting something completely legal then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. We upgrade the legality to completely legal.
Fine. And I fill the gap in with what that is. So I think that the only legal, so I'm gonna add in a local job. Yeah, carrying some, the cargo's full. Cargo, you've got cargo. But this is a small additional, not very, not as valuable to you, but it could earn you, if this goes well, 3 wealth, which is not to be sneezed at. I mean, that would edge you back up into breaking even.
Exactly.
So you've covered the repairs, we've dealt with that, and we've got a local job and a passenger run in process. Okay, so let's have, who wants to be on deck when we make the drive roll?
Must
I
be
think that-
Paxt.
Yeah, now that Pax is out of quarantine,
Okay,
we got
Pax,
somebody else to blame for bad rolls.
let's have you roll plus. Oh, hang on, I just must repair both your shields and your med bay. Okay, so let's have you roll plus drive, which is +1. Paxed.
Awesome. This is a 4.
Oh, oh.
Unless somebody wants to aid, maybe.
I mean, I'm not sure that, because this move is meant to just determine what happens. It's a plot
Okay, cool,
device.
cool.
It's not anything else. So
welcome.
I think honestly, like, you don't arrive, but there's a dangerous in-system encounter. Now, do I want to? I think I want you to encounter a derelict. Yeah. So yeah, I want the scanners to pick up a ship which is clearly not entirely functional.
Can we scan them if there are life forms on it?
Let's have a look. Hang on, I need to call up my page 80, which has derelicts on it. Those of you watching this, I'm using to scaffold some of this, some of the tables in Starforged, because I like some of those tables. And
I'm really glad that you don't use tables from Mothership.
Okay, so let's roll percentile dice, and I will tell you what you get from the scanners, or I will know. 72 is let's have you roll with scanners. I know what I found. Let's see what your scanners tell you. Somebody else will roll with scanners. What about Pleasant? Roll +1.
Okay. And this is not plus anything on me. This is plus the scan. Okay.
This is the ship's tech.
And so if you fail, it's really the ship's fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But also nobody else can help. Why didn't he go? All right, 9. That's tolerable.
9. Okay, so 7+, you find what you were looking for. So we don't have life sign in this. We have temperature and stuff like that. So I think that there is what I can tell you is that this ship is damaged and breached. So there are cold areas that are open to space. Yeah. But on a 7 to 9, the GM says what stands between you and exploiting your find, because oh yeah, I know what. I think, let me see it. Somebody's burden must play into this. Hang on. Yeah, the complication here is that the ship is a Fiennes Logistics ship. Which ties into Pleasant's backstory, I think.
Have any sense there might be people alive on their Pleasant?
We've got no information that
There
there's
are
any
areas
survivors.
that are not showing the cold of space. So that would suggest that there is some systems running. Whether the people are running or not is a different question.
Let me suit up and move us close, and I will go in and check. Are you good with that, Pleasant?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you need another set of eyes, I could come over.
Sure.
With you.
That'd be, I would prefer it to be 2 of us.
Max, do you content to sit on the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a breaching system which boils down, I think, to boarding systems, a magnetic grapple. So roll with precision, Bryz. Tell me where you're aiming to get to. Are you aiming to get to the breached area or a non-breached area, or
what the largest breached area that, based on our knowledge of these ships, could have good self-contained life support?
Okay. So yeah, okay, I've got that. So let's have you roll
That's a
plus
10.
1. Oh, 10. Wow.
My,
7 plus.
my precision is a 2.
Yeah. So you make it across and establish a temporary airlock. On a 10, there are no downsides. We see you, kind of making your way through the airlock.
I got it set, Pleasant, if you want to come down the line.
I'd much prefer that to rolling on my own. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're okay.
Cool.
Don't worry. And you are in. Yeah, I think you dropped the breach takes you into what you best guess is the quarters. Yeah, so this is living quarters. Now, in terms of this ship is not unlike yours, but imagine that yours was there was a second one of yours mated to it. So it is, in terms of volumes, it's about twice the volume of yours, but it's built from the same basic subunits. Yeah. And I think when you drop through there into that quarters, you drop into a corridor, Bryz, with secure doors at either end of it. Yeah, a couple of cabins on this.
Pleasant, can you get on comms and see if you can broadcast?
Absolutely.
I am, given what we had happened the last time we were on a alien thing, I'm going to stand here, watch.
What,
could
the
go
rage
wrong?
fire? Come on.
So Pleasant, you make your way over to a kind of comm console on the side of the ship, yeah?
Yep.
On the side of the corridor.
Hack into that. And
yeah, I don't think I even need you to hack into it, actually. I think because all you want to do is to press the button and speak. Now you're in a suit, so all you have to do is kind of plug your, a lead into this and then speak. So what are you saying? What do we hear?
I mean, crew of, name of ship here.
Let's call it the Azriela.
That's a pretty name. Crew of the Azriela, this is the Chimera. We have come to check if you are in distress. We are in distress. If there's anybody here alive, we can help. We can help you.
Okay.
Are you here?
I think that while you're doing that, Bryz, as you look around, you appear to be in a corridor. They're not cabins, it's a mess area that is off this corridor. So it looks like this is, there's a kitchen, there's debris floating about. It's lost its acceleration, so you're working here on the old magnetic boots. And Pleasant. Let's see what I can. Does this offer us an opportunity? I think what you get is a message that says, Chimera, this is Azriela. Sorry, Nomad, this is Azriela. We are isolated. Survivors are in engineering. We have lost comms to the operations deck. The lift system has been breached.
All right, we've got information now, Bryz.
Okay, so nobody in this section. We've got to kind of cross over to engineering.
You need to get out of this area, so you need to get through those one of those bulkhead doors at either end of this to the shaft. There's a shaft that runs down the length of the ship, which is the lift, or there it will be ladders to make your way down. The challenge is going to be how you get into the area beyond those bulkhead doors, which is still pressurized, given that you're in an unpressurized area.
Are you set for that, Pleasant?
I can examine this tech and see the best way to do that.
Sure, that'd be great.
I think you probably can. Hang on, what's that? Yes, fine. So Pleasant, yeah, let's have you run examine on this then.
Alrighty. That's a 9.
That's a 9. 7+. Choose what you're looking for.
I guess it's expected behavior. We want to get it open.
Yeah. What you need to do is to somehow equalize the pressure. Yeah, because that will stay sealed until there is pressure on both sides of these of this door. That's not a great surprise. But that's the complication.
Just to clarify, does it need to see pressure on both sides or just the same amount of pressure on both sides?
Okay. Yeah, it needs to see a certain amount of pressure. So it needn't be equalized, but it needs to be confident. The system needs to be confident that if that door opens, it's not going to vent another area of the ship to space.
But we couldn't just open. Well, I mean, I guess if we're going to do that, I was going to say Bryz has a giant suit. He could punch a hole in it and then, hey, it's even out. But at that point, just punch a bigger hole in it. And
yeah, so I mean, that is another approach, which is to blow a hole in the bulkhead beyond this and equalize the pressure that way. Bryz, what are you thinking at this point?
If Pleasant said do X, Y, or Z, then I do X, Y, or Z.
So do you want to specify X, Y, or Z, Pleasant?
I mean, we need to get, and we need the sensor to think there's enough pressure here. And I guess it doesn't have to be air pressure. I mean, you've got that suit that maybe can put some hydraulic pressure on it and trick it into thinking everything's fine out here.
Sure, let me do it.
That would seem reasonable.
Point me to the sensor.
Yeah, well, I think this is face danger with hardware, Bryz.
I like it. Now back me up on this, Pleasant. Here, I'm going to try and do this. Oh, this is a little harder than you thought. Oh boy.
Yeah, well, you're not. You got to push on this part.
So I think what I'm seeing here is that you're using some pressure from the suit to try and kind of convince the sensor that there is pressure, and what happens is the door opens slightly, not enough for you to get in, but for atmosphere to begin to leak out of there. So
Pleasant, can you help me here?
Can I assist?
You can aid an ally.
And I'm going to guess that's with hardware.
I think. Yeah.
All right. It's an 8.
Which could be worse. So on a 7+, they're kind of improved by 1. So we've got a face danger on a 7 to 9. Deal with that first. There is a cost and you pay a price. I think the price you pay, Bryz, is that suit is now running low on oxygen. So I want you to mark it as stressed. So there's a little kind of box next to it.
Yeah.
It's not operating at full capacity. On a 7 to 9 on aid an ally, you suffer any cost attached to the original outcome as well, Pleasant. So I'm going to put some stress on your civilian spacesuit as well. Both of the suits have to compensate for what's going on here, that change in pressure. But then the door does open. You can get through it, and then because you've taken the pressure off, it will close behind you. Yeah, and the pressure in this new compartment is lowered, but not critically so. Paxt, what are you doing while this is going on?
I'd like to check the, can I I don't know if we established if there's like a sector net where you can get information like flight, what's it called? Flight.
Flight plans and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when did the ship I don't know what the
Yeah, no, I think that's an interesting question. This sounds like gather information unless you've got something better.
No, that sounds about right.
Roll plus mind. Can you pull together any records that the ship picked up at the station?
Ooh, snake eyes.
Snake eyes. Your investigation unearths a threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your situation or plans, and the GM will say what price you pay. Well, I think that the unwelcome truth is that the Azriela was on a flight path to the same place you're going, to the IBD research hub.
And
Yeah.
when was that?
They set off in advance of you, so they would have arrived there before you, but clearly this has rather spiked their plan. So Fiennes Logistics was on its way to IBD.
I contact Bryz and Pleasant. Be careful out there, guys.
Is there new information?
Well, I think that they were also on the way to the what is it called, the
IBD research
the IBD, and they were slightly ahead of us. Could be a coincidence. I don't know. Could be, you know.
Let's hope that they weren't mistaken for us and attacked because of that.
How
Possible.
slightly ahead?
Like,
I think that's difficult to tell. You know that they left before you arrived. So
okay.
Several days.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to mislead you to think that this is a response to you.
Okay, so it's unrelated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does that change, Pleasant? You're kind of, because Fiennes Logistics, you don't like them, do you?
I mean, I don't like the organization and the higher ups. I don't know that I want to
Okay.
let anyone here suffer. You know, I've probably been at their level as well. Plus, they may have some information.
Okay.
Or there might be a rich member of the board on here and then Bryz can kill him. You know, whatever.
See, you say those things, and then you get me super excited. But yeah, let's press on. I'd like to save these people's lives.
Okay, so I think that the way I'll deal with this is okay. I think the way that I'll deal with this is that this is a long-term task, so it's just going to take time.
Okay.
The question is whether you can do this with relative safety to you and the other people. Yeah, I'm not going to roll every airtight door or every, So what I think I'm probably seeing you doing is, pulling yourself down the lift shaft that runs down the length of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards where they say that they're holed up. Yeah. And you get there. Question is, are there any consequences? Bryz, are you taking the lead on this?
Yeah, I don't want Pleasant to get hurt.
Okay, so let's have you roll to face danger. I think this is mobility, agility, moving in 0G, roll plus precision.
Okay. That is a 13.
That's pretty good, isn't it? So not a problem. Nothing goes awry getting down to the engineering deck. Pleasant, would you roll examine, please? Just want to see if you noticed anything.
Plus which one?
I think this is tech or structures. Roll plus hardware.
Okay. 11, finally. 10 plus.
I think what I want to tell you is that there's an awful lot of life support ducting heading down to this deck. More than you would expect for a deck which should be largely solid state machinery equipment. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think the other thing that I'll tell you is that there are 2 shuttles in this ship.
Is that unusual in and of itself?
I mean, why would you need more than one? I suppose is the question that might come to your mind, because you know you're usually just transporting small numbers of people from A to B.
Okay.
You know, typically people have one shuttle. It does multiple trips. Bryz, any thoughts based on that additional information, or are you now just going to try and, because I do want you to try and open these lift doors, these airtight lift doors.
Yeah, I don't think that changes. Like I was already worried, you know, Pleasant has never described this company as particularly great, but these are human beings, people that are trapped in a horrible situation. And they haven't shot at me, so they don't deserve this.
Fine.
If they shoot at me, that equation changes, but right now.
Okay. So
We actually can, before we open these doors, is this like this is the way into the engineering area?
yes.
Then I think we hook up comms and we go secure compartments. Secure compartments. We are coming in. We have a ship. Get your shit together.
Fine. I don't think you get anything back on that one.
Okay.
And I think probably face danger is the only way I've got of determining you know, the situation that you end up in.
Sure.
So Bryz, let's have you roll. And again, I think this is either force or precision. Take your pick.
I always go with precision. Oh, new dice in your pool, though. That is a 10.
Goes perfectly. You know, the lift doors open. There's that same kind of slight equalization of pressure, but you step through, Pleasant steps through, it reseals behind you. And there are 2 figures in combat armor in the corridor ahead of you. What do you do, Bryz?
I pop my faceplate. We can tell that there's atmosphere here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And I pop my faceplate and then I say, we've got a ship. We're here to rescue you if you wish to be rescued. How many people do you have?
And you know, you'll hear a kind
We
of
are independent. We are independent contractors. Be aware of that.
and I think you hear him say, Madam Fiennes, it appears that there is an opportunity to leave the ship. What are your instructions, please?
Talking to the other person, or
No, talking, you know, loudspeakering from the suit.
as I guess I'm wondering as if that Madam Fiennes is here, or
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
Um,
Dun dun dun.
We can back off if you have rescue ops on the way.
no, and I think I've added.
Because you know, I understand that you have vast resources and we don't want to get in the way of whatever your operations are.
And out of a room further away come another 2 people with combat armor on, and the woman I have labeled as Azriella Fiennes in the Faces and Places tab.
I'm assuming this is someone that I am familiar with
Yes.
by reputation, if not.
Yeah, a senior member of the Fiennes family. Holds a lot of stock in the company.
Boy.
Bryz?
He looks like an asshole, just saying, on the
Definitely
faces on
rich,
the list.
Bryz.
What are your numbers?
So 2 guys in combat armor
Okay.
per
Yeah.
an assistant and 2 more guys in combat armor.
Is this the whole of the survivals? I'm calculating in terms of movement and space on a ship.
And the one who called for, Madam Fiennes, loudspeakers, this is all you need to worry about.
Not exactly an answer.
Okay. I say, okay. You sit tight. We're gonna have to we didn't realize till we moved to this section that you all were in this section. We're gonna have to fall back and get something set up here for the pressurization on this area to get you out this way, okay?
I think that's convince compel, Bryz.
I think that is. And I am my eyes go over to Pleasant as if to say, you're gonna help me do this line here.
So are you lying to these people? Because I just need to understand your motive here, Bryz.
Yeah, because I need to regroup and tack with Pleasant.
I mean,
Okay.
but we also, yeah, I mean, okay, probably, yeah, you're lying, but like not entirely lying.
Oh
I'm
no,
just
I'm
thinking
lying.
that
I'm lying because in my mind's eye, there's me sitting at the guns on the ship going poo 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 and blowing this up with everyone on it.
or even just flicking the safety off that rifle now.
No, not with 4 guys with combat armor and Pleasant standing next to me.
Okay, so let's
I
have
could
you
take out 2 of them. Come on.
let's have you convince compel.
Really? Are you telling?
Lie or swindle, roll plus mind.
That's not great.
I'm seeing a 5 and a 3, or is that
No, I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at my numbers here. This would be a good time to roll high. No.
Would have been a great time.
Pleasant, wanna jump in and help me
Yeah,
on this
boy,
talk?
do I. It's a good thing I came with you.
So they refuse or make a demand that costs you a lot, and the GM may say what price you pay. Okay, just so I know what I'm dealing with. Pleasant. What do you say at this point? Because these guys are looking, well, in the sense they've still got the faceplates down, so they are not looking convinced. You are in here. Why would you need to leave? Pleasant. What do we hear you saying or
yes,
doing?
just to clarify that Bryz said we have to fall back because we didn't know the situation.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. And I'll say your sensors aren't going to show it, but there's a leak in the manifold hydroxy reclaimer that we saw coming in. And if that isn't patched up, we won't have enough time to get you out before this thing goes up like the 4th of July in
This
space.
sounds like spinning them a tail using some technobabble.
Yeah.
Roll plus hardware.
And I'm imagining I am technobabbling, but also using real things that I know from being in the company. We'll see if that matters.
Yeah,
it's a 9.
It's a 9. Well, that's okay, isn't it? So 7 plus. Their outcome improves by 1 step, so we get to 7 to 9 rather than the fail. 7 to 9, you suffer any cost attached to their original outcome. So the pay a price, a demand that costs you a lot, moves from Bryz to you. They are going to let you retreat. But I think one of them says to Pleasant, you sound like you understand the hardware. You stay. You, big fella, go do what you need to do. You, gestures at Pleasant with their weapon. You do whatever you need to do to sort that out. And that, I think, is where we'll take our next commercial break. Yeah. back 5 past the hour.
Wow.
So we come back frozen in that moment where one of them has said, well, you stay and fix what needs fixing. You go and do what you need to do to Bryz. So what happens then, Pleasant? Or yeah, I think probably I'll give you a chance to react first.
So the idea is Bryz is going to go back to the ship, but I need to stick around because my justification was it something outside of this immediate area needs fixing.
Yeah,
so
I
they can
think
certainly
most of
say
that techno battle kind of went over their head.
I say to Pleasant, are you cool with that? I'll have one of them come with me for a second pair of hands to do what we need to do.
not a problem.
Are you sure? Okay.
The distinct sense you get is that they are not entirely trusting of you at this point.
Absolutely. I'll say, okay, well, then I'm going to need one of you, and I'll gesture around to the guys in the suits to come with me, because I'm going to need a second pair of hands on what we're doing here.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the guy who's been doing the talking calls one of the others up, and he will get into the lift with you if that's what you want to happen.
All right.
But they're
So,
gonna
I'll explain what we're going to need to do and head back up. Pleasant, I come to you. Because we can sub-vocal, right, to each other.
well, behind that mirrored visor,
Yeah,
you know, who knows what to say.
I come to you. I say, Pleasant, I want you to say the name of one of our crewmates in your next sentence if you agree with what I'm about to say to you. Otherwise, don't. I'm going to take this guy out and I'm going to space him. And then that will be a accident. And then we're going to need to, I'm going to see if I can get Jort to wake up because we're going to need his help here.
Ooh.
I kind of leave it in your hands here about
Yeah.
what you want me to do.
I saw you declare your responsibility on
Isn't that what I'm supposed to do?
Yes.
I'm going to pass that on to Horst and see what he. Let's see. So there is one of the higher ups of Fiennes here that is some sort of lovely opportunity, although I'm not really sure what it is. I don't want to get killed. I don't have a better plan, and even if I did, I couldn't tell it to Bryz, so it's yes or no. So I'm gonna say I picked up a lot of tricks working with Dr. Bransom. You may have heard of him. He's well renowned, so using his procedure, the Branson procedure, should be no problem to fix this up. That was developed by Dr. Paxt Branson.
All right, then we'll head out.
So Pleasant.
I would also like to say, if we may, that we would like to have like I assume we've got some recording things and stuff like that. Like I'm playing back all of this, beaming it to Pax. So Pax is aware.
Yeah. Paxt is in the comm loop. That's not a problem.
Yeah. I'm like, Pax, we are fucked, and I need to know what to do. I'm going to space this guy, and then we need to get to what we're doing here.
I mean, give the go signal and I can ram the ship if there's like an opportunity where you need to get away.
There are clearly some non-combatants here.
Well, if you're talking about the CEO of a company.
No. There are clearly some people like crew of the ship.
Got it.
I don't want to kill them.
Also, please don't kill me. If you're ramming the ship, I don't know that is a precise instrument, but I can't say this.
I think Pax will have heard you talk about, you know, undertaking the Bransom,
maneuver.
So Pleasant, I think what the guy who's been doing all the talking so far gestures you up a side corridor. And you go through a kind of area of lockers, and then a bunk area, and then you come into an engineering area. And he says, "Okay, do what you need to do." And he will have put his mask up now. And then Bryz, by now you've got back up to where the breach is, where you came in. What are you going to do?
I want to see if Pax has any other ideas.
Well, my suggestion would be to maybe make a run for it, and I could, aid you in this. Or do you want to take them out one by one, space them one by one?
I want to kill this guy fast enough that he cannot comms to his people. Can you get on the space guns?
I surely can.
Okay.
I think probably I need you. Go on.
Yeah. When we're in 0G, when we get out into an open area, I have martial arts, and I'm going to, get out of place and ask him to help me up. And then I am going to leverage and whip him off into space. And I would like, as that happens, for Paxt to light him up.
So I need a way, I think, to know whether Davis, who's the lead down on engineering, who's also in comms with his team, whether he is aware of anything having happened. Yeah.
I assume he's going to see that guy go flatline.
Okay, and you're content for that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way we can stop that.
Okay.
But he
right.
won't know what's going on.
No,
I mean,
he
it
won't.
would take a while, right? You didn't kill him. You just threw him
Oh
out into
no,
space.
because if we throw him and he's
then
still
the
alive, he said, then he's going to say something.
Hey, Davis.
So the throwing and the shooting. Okay. This plan gets less elegant all the time.
So yeah, Bryz, this sounds like engage.
I will admit, okay, the meta of this is me slowing this down so we can have Paul here for this. I'm not gonna lie right now.
Well, look, I think we could wind up a bit earlier because this has descended into violence faster than even I thought it would. So
let me do the precision to throw him out.
Yes.
And then,
do you want to have secured an advantage first?
Oh, that's an interesting idea. How do you do that?
Well, there's a move called secure an advantage, and I guess this would be resolve, command, deception, sociability, influence.
Yeah, let's do that.
To kind of get him to go, to be where you want him to be at the point, because you said, just help me with this, and then bang. So I'm
saying like your boss seems cool. I say that with kind of sarcasm.
So let's have you roll plus influence.
That is a 9.
9. Look at that. So on 7 plus you succeed. On 7 plus there's a cost and you pay a price. So I think you get him there, but I think that you've got an advantage. But I think he is going to have a chance to do you some harm in the next, when you try to throw him away into space.
Okay.
And then we'll see whether Pact can pick him out of the black.
Okay.
So let's have you roll to engage. Oh no, you've got a combat move, haven't you? I'd forgotten.
Yeah, I'm rolling this with precision because of my martial arts.
Of course.
And I've got advantage, you said?
You have.
Okay. So that is a 12.
Well, that goes about as well as it could, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's going to hit me, but
he is going to hit you. So when you aim to pick off, he floats away, no question. I am going to put you under a bit of stress, though. I think for that, probably more emotional. because I can't help feeling that the empathy virus and
Yeah.
your urge to kill the rich is really making this very difficult for you. So mark stress,
Yeah.
but he, you know, and hey, is all he will say, and then Pax does the weapon thing.
The shooting.
Fine. So let's have you roll with the ship's point defense weapons. Point defense turrets. Roll plus hardware, Paxed.
That's not good news. But I got a, what do I got? A 9 plus or minus. I think I have -1. Let's see.
Well, it's going to be. It's well. I suppose it matters if it's a +1.
It is a 9.
It is a 9. Okay. So on a 10 plus, you inflict harm as established on the target, which would blow it at 7 to 9. You inflict harm as established on the target, but your ship is at risk of damage as established. Roll plus shields. All he's got is small arms relative to you. But now pay a price. You are using ship's weaponry, which is an automatic takeout, even given that he's got power armor on. So yeah, the hard suit just cracks when you put a couple of rounds of point defense arm rounds into him.
I mean, text has to be in the turrets, so I'm not.
No, everything's run from it's not like
from.
It's not Star.
It's not in the. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. But okay.
No, we're in the Expanse. Remember, that's our technological base. And you will see Bryz, him floating away into the black. And all he said was, "Hey, Pleasant."
I hope this also, like the gunfire, I'm hoping it shakes that ship a little bit too.
I'm not sure it does, you see, because you pushed him off the ship.
Yeah.
So he's floating away.
I say, Pact, can you put a shot across the bow? Shake the ship.
Sure they can. What is the I just shoot.
Yeah.
What is the motivation though?
You know, why are we shaking?
Because something happened and like the ship will shake and they'll have the sense that, oh my God.
So look, I don't think this is using weapons. I think this is convincing them with using hardware. Yeah. So I think this is, can you use the point defense cannons to give some impression of something bad having happened that could explain the sudden silence of one of his men. So let's have you roll to convince them this is lying and swindling, but I think it's roll plus hardware.
That is a 7.
A 7. They'll do what you want. So yeah, they get that with a counteroffer demand or a complication. The complication is that he calls one of his other men up into engineering, Pleasant. So there are 2 of them in there with you now. And I think they are suspicious. What the hell was that? Hughes, Hughes, come in.
I'll say to Pleasant, we've got some collapse in the rest of the ship and debris. We just took a hit here. I don't know where that guy is. Can they see if they can raise him on comms? I can't see him.
And so Pleasant passes that on using Pleasant's deeply manipulative abilities, I think. But I'm going to put you at disadvantage, I think, Pleasant, because they are now suspicious. There's no question. So do you want to manipulate them so that they trust you and that disadvantage goes away?
Sorry, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, they are now suspicious of you, right? They're not entirely certain they believe what Bryz is using as cover. Something's happened. They can't get their guy on comms. They are beginning to wonder whether this is everything it shaped up to be. So if you wanted to manipulate them, it would be at disadvantage.
No, I want to manipulate the hardware and do something physical to them with it. So, I think Pleasant would have something more clever than I would, but the idea is I'm not repairing anything. I'm making this room a booby trap that will knock
Okay.
them out.
Okay. So this sounds like set something up
All right.
that could perhaps do them harm if you needed it to. Yeah? Does that seem fair?
That
You know,
is
I don't quite
believable.
know how engage with a ship's engineering systems works mechanically, but I'll think of something. So let's have you roll secure advantage with hardware, and then you'll be
Advantage with
sitting on an
hardware.
advantage
Okay.
that would cancel their suspicion of you or shield it.
It is a 9, as so many of the rolls are today.
You succeed. You have advantage, but there's a cost. You pay a price. You have done something. So you think that at the right moment, you could trigger, I don't know, some kind of coolant eruption out of the wall that would put them in difficulties. The complication is that you're not entirely certain that it won't go off on its own.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is an advantage to be had here. You can use the engineering systems to hurt them, but you're not entirely certain when it's going to go. And you know, I kind of think that's where we leave it, as we see that one of the ducts that you know, we see you adjusting the pressure in the duct so it goes up and up and up, and then we notice a slight crack begins to appear in the duct. So it may not be as controllable as you would like. It just strikes me that that's a good place, given that I think you are right to want Jort back. And I think I can't think of anything else that could go on right now that wouldn't precipitate more general chaos. So are we okay to close our episode there? I know it's a bit early. I hate to finish early. I like to finish on the dot, but you know. So yeah, let's pause it there. I will make a note in the chat about exactly where we are and why we are, so we know where we're picking up. But that, I think, is where we'll call it tonight. Stars and wishes? Oh no, let's do XP first. Let's do XP first, because I keep forgetting about XP. Or I am prone to forget about it. So
Yeah.
that's all the way down on row 65-6. So let me start with pleasant. I carried my burden for good or ill. I think the whole Fiennes Logistics entanglement here puts a tick in there. My origin or career background mattered for good or ill. I think related to that, you know, is someone going to spot that you are a rogue member of staff?
That's the sword hanging over my head as I'm walking around in here.
And lost, defeat, or setback. I think there were a few tonight, weren't there?
Yeah, some pretty legitimate ones. I'm in the ship by myself. I think that.
I claimed a victory for myself or the ship.
I can't think of anything.
You made one way or another. You made quite a lot of progress on the virus project.
Okay.
Yeah. I
fair.
champion an ally and let them shine.
I was pulling Bryz's bacon out of the fire several times.
You were. So you get all 5. So you transfer all 5 of those across into your XP track. Let's go back next to Bryz. I carried my burden for good or ill. Well, there is a burden there.
Yeah, I do think that hit. My origin or career background mattered. I think we've had that with the faction.
Yeah, the whole yeah.
I don't think we suffered a loss, defeat, or setback.
I don't think you did tonight. You know
that we haven't kind of isn't a big scale thing that we're going to resolve.
Yeah, or when your bacon has been in the fat, someone has dragged it out before it had a catastrophic effect.
I claimed a victory for myself in the ship. I think killing that guy.
I do that. I championed an ally.
Oh yeah, I spent my action helping Pleasant out with the research.
You did. So you can transfer 4 across. And then let's come to Dr. Bransom. I carried my burden for good or ill. What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, there's the whole virus thing, but
I think it's quite difficult to milk that every session.
Yeah.
I don't want to milk it anyways. I mean, if I were, I would have had to kill myself being infected, possibly, and that's a bit counterintuitive.
And that would have been
getting
no
XP.
fun for anyone. So my origin or career background mattered. Yeah, I think it did. Because I think that does tie in to the whole, am I infected? Aren't I infected? It's almost carrying on from last time where you decided to do away with the infected. So I think I give you origin or career background. Suffered a loss or a defeat.
Not a major one for the story, I guess.
I claimed a victory for myself and or the ship. You just took out,
Goodbye.
a helpless man floating in space with point defense turrets. If that's
Good
not
for
a victory,
me.
what is? And I championed an ally or let them shine. Didn't you drag some people's bacon out this time?
Well,
Yes.
I mean, I did. If you want to help Pleasant get the information about the virus.
Yeah. I think so. You can transfer 3 across. And we'll do a love letter for Jort next time to find out what was he doing during that shore leave, whether he was indeed in a holodeck with the glamorous Captain Cast or not. But right, okay. So quick stars and wishes. Let me start this time with Keith. Don't think I've started with you, Keith. So any stars, any wishes?
Love everything getting tightened up. It's uncomfortable for the players, and that's uncomfortable for the characters, and that's fun for the players. And just the net is closing in on us in one way or several ways, and it's fun to see all that happening. I mean, my wish from last time could not be fulfilled this time because I wanted more Jort time. That's the same thing. Everybody's calling for Jort. Jort's very popular nowadays.
Yeah, who knows what he'll be wearing next time. Right, let me go round to Horst. Any stars, any wishes?
Stars to you, Alan, because you didn't forget about the power boots, and I just rejected you and let Pleasant and Bryz go to the ship.
I was hoping to see you zoom up and down lift shafts, I have to tell you.
It's just, Pleasant volunteered, and I wanted to see Pleasant and Bryz on screen for a moment. But it will be my wish to have the power boots next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. We have to put the power boots in next time somehow. and finally, Lowell, any stars, any wishes?
Boy, I love the setup for this. Like I enjoyed the shore leave. I enjoyed what you set up, the interactions with Pleasant and Paxt there. I thought that was really solid. All of it felt really good and natural and played on what we had set up. I felt real pressure dealing with that faction, and like knew I was going to be taking the hit on that. But at least I was able to hand off some stuff that I think makes their decisions more complicated. And I love this spaceship setup. Like I love that. Like that's so good. That's so complicated, and we know that there are other people. And if they had said it was just us, I could have rationalized it. But the second that they said no one else you need to worry about, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to kill all you guys now. Like in a really, really bad way.
Well,
okay.
I'll be honest with you. I've been looking for a matchup on the power armor.
Yeah.
Any wishes for next time?
Now I'm just where it's going is where I want it to be.
Great. My stars, I love the way that everyone responded to the complexities. I love the way that everyone responded to, Gavin, Gavin Pleasant, Pax Triangle, Bryz and Cypher, wanting, pull your finger out, Bryz. Let's, are you a rebel or not? I love that. So thank you for that. So am I okay to post this recording?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I will pause it now.